cop's like, she's peeing, she's peeing. I literally pissed on, like, probably more than one cop. Hey guys, it's Kitty. Earlier this week, I did a poll on my Twitter to see what video you guys wanted me to film this weekend, and it was between reading my OkCupid messages or doing a story time on how I got arrested and peed on a cop, and that one won. So this is that story. Well, I have to start this out by prefacing that I was 19 when this happened. I used to hang out with these two girls like all the time. We were best friends. We hung out every single day. We're gonna call them Sally and Nancy, just because I don't think they would want me revealing their real names in this. Sally and Nancy used to sell weed, and we used to just go to like random house parties all the time, like random college parties. And Sally and Nancy would bring little backpacks and they would try to sell weed to people at these parties, which, yeah, looking back on it, that was a horrible fucking idea. And I was just along for the ride and to drink and smoke a little. The night that all of this happened, we were at a party at some apartments near the college. I had never been to these apartments before. I don't think any of us knew whose party it was. Nancy had on the backpack that had a bunch of individual baggies of weed in it, and Sally was driving, and in her car was a Tupperware of weed and a scale and baggies and shit, and I just had my little pipe in my pocket with like less than a gram of weed, like a bowl's worth of weed, and some Four Locos, because that's what we drank back in the day because we were edgy as fuck. We go up to this party, there's a ton of people there, it's at an apartment, the inside was fucking packed. So we're standing outside on the front porch area, like the little balcony area, and there's like just a bunch of kids being really fucking loud. Apparently the cops had already been called twice and had already come out to this residence 2 times to tell them to be quiet. They'd already had 2 noise complaints. No one told us this at all. No one told us to be quiet out front. No one told us to come inside or anything like that. So we're like standing outside, drinking, smoking, like whatever. So I was standing like facing towards the apartment, and there was a staircase behind me because we're on the 2nd floor. Sally is upstairs with me, and Nancy is downstairs standing in the front yard, like probably trying to sell weed to someone or something. All of a sudden, a fucking tap on my shoulder, and I turn around and it's a cop. And I'm standing there with a Four Loko in my hand, underage, like know that I'm not supposed to be drinking, obviously have a can that says it's alcohol in my hand. Never drink out of something that says it's alcohol if you're underage, Jesus. Apparently Nancy from downstairs the whole time had been trying to signal me to put my drink down, but because I was faced away, I did not see or hear her. Sally had a red Solo cup and she was facing the stairs, so she had put it down. So the cop looks at me because my fucking 14-year-old looking ass is holding a Four Loko. Also, mind you, there is an actual 14-year-old sitting on the stairs next to me, but she doesn't care about him. She cares about me. Yeah, girl cop, by the way, power trip. Fuck her. So she's like, where's your ID? And I'm like, it's in the car. And she's like, okay, send her to go get it. So I was like, okay, fuck. I looked at Sally and I was like, could you please go get my ID for me? And she looked at me and she was like, sure. And she went to the car and she never came back. So me and this fucking cop are just standing there so awkward, waiting for Sally to come back with my ID, and she never did. So the cop's like, do you know where the car is? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, okay, take me there. At this point, I'm like, fuck, the scale and the bags and all this weed are in the fucking car, and now I have to walk to the car because Sally never came back with my fucking ID. So me and the cop are walking to the car, and the whole time I'm like internally having a fucking panic attack. Never been arrested before. My parents are gonna fucking kill me. They don't even know I drink. So we get to the car. Sally and Nancy are both standing at the car. I get my ID, I hand it to the cop, and she goes, so you lied to me? And I'm like, what? She's like, you said you were 21. You're not 21. And I was like, I never said I was 21. She's like, yeah, I don't like liars. And she goes, also, I can smell weed. And at this point, all of us were like, oh, fuck. But if you get caught with like over a certain amount of weed or scale or baggies, it's intent to sell, and it's a felony, and you go to prison. So the cop's like, I smell weed, either hand it over or I'm searching all of you and the car. Nancy has baggies and weed in her backpack. Sally has a scale and all this weed in her car. All I have in my pocket is a pipe and a tiny bit of weed. I'm like, either I go to jail for a misdemeanor right now, or maybe I get let off with a warning, or all of us are going to fucking prison. I pull the baggie of weed out of my pocket and I hand it to the cop and I'm like, this is what you smell. I have the weed. Here it is. And the cop goes, do you have anything else on you? And I, in my freaking out 19-year-old naive brain, thought she was talking about drugs, and I didn't have any more drugs on me, so I said, no, that's all I have. She's like, okay, well, I'm gonna pat you down. She pats me down and finds my pipe. Not even thinking, I didn't realize she meant, do I have any other illegal things on me? Because I was fucking stupid and 19. So she's like, you lied again. I was like, oh. She's like, this is paraphernalia, which, by the way, is a higher charge than weed and underage drinking. I don't know why. So she goes, you're going to jail tonight. Puts me in handcuffs, puts me in the cop car. Like, handcuffs are so tight, I get, like, bruises around my wrists and everything. Mind you, I've drank 2 Four Locos, so I'm drunk, I've been smoking, I'm, like, a little cross-faded. I'm freaking the fuck out. Like, even just telling the story is giving me fucking anxiety because of how fucking freaked out I was that night. The jail is forever away from the apartment complex we're at. Like, literally over an hour away from the apartment complex for some reason. After we've been in the car for about 15 minutes, I really have to pee. I just drank 2 Four Locos, okay? Like, I have to fucking piss. So I tell the cop, like, excuse me, I really have to pee. And she's like, well, that's what happens when you drink alcohol. What? Like, yeah, I know that's what happens when I drink alcohol, but I had to fucking piss, lady. 20 minutes later, we're still fucking driving. And I'm like, excuse me, I really have to pee. Like, really bad. And she's like, well, you're gonna have to wait till we get to jail. You're almost there. I was like, fuck, okay. So we get to jail, mind you, like, 20-30 minutes later. I'm fucking dying at this point. Like, I have to piss worse than I've ever had to piss in my entire life. But I'm like, okay, if I can just wait until we get inside the jail, then she'll let me go pee. She brings me in the jail, she sits me down, she's like, okay, I have to get you booked. I'm like, okay, but I have to pee, remember? Like you said when I get to the jail? And she's like, well, you're gonna have to wait until after booking. I'm like, fuck, please don't let this take too long. I have to pee so fucking bad. It took too fucking long, okay? Like, the booking process took like 45 minutes. I am dying at this point. Like, I am barely holding it together. I have to pee so fucking bad. Finally, she books me. They take my mugshot. Okay, after I get through this door, I'm going to immediately ask if I can go to the bathroom. I get through the door and they just start patting me down automatically. Like, push me against a wall, start patting me down. Literally 3 fucking cops are patting me down. I'm dying. I can't say anything. I have to fucking pee so fucking bad. I'm just trying to hold it until they're done patting me down and it's too late. It's too fucking late. I pissed myself because I told this lady literally 4 or 5 times that I had to pee and she wouldn't let me go. So I just fucking pissed myself while 3 cops are patting me down and it starts getting on their hands. The cop's like, she's peeing, she's peeing. I literally pissed on like probably more than 1 cop. They're like, why didn't you go to the bathroom? And they just gave me a change of clothes and I was like, okay, well, the cop who arrested me, I told her like 5 times I had to go to the bathroom and she wouldn't let me. And the 1 cop who's giving me my clothes, she goes, okay, I don't care if you're in here for murder. That's inhumane. You need to tell the judge that when you go to court because you can sue her for that. That's inhumane. I got pretrial diversion, which you can sometimes get on your first offense. So that means I paid a shitload of money to the government. I did community service. I went to a probation officer every month for 6 months. Then all the charges were dropped from my record. That cop is a fucking bitch, and she can honestly go fuck herself. I think her name was Nicole or something, from Orange County Police Department. Fuck you. Go fuck yourself. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this story time. If you guys want me to do more, like, let me know down in the comments. I have a few crazy stories from my life. If you haven't already and you want to, feel free to hit the subscribe button and hit that little bell button if you want to receive alerts every time I upload a video. I'm going to be trying to upload more often on this channel. And yeah, if you haven't already followed me on Twitch, all the links to all my social media will be down in the description below. And that is all. Thank you. I love you. Bye. Can you hear this helicopter right now? It's shaking my whole house.